Now, hello guys, let's not talk about the muscles of the leg. Last class, we talked about the muscles of the thigh, right? I will say that the muscles of the thigh is divided into three compartments by the deep fascia. What's the fascia of the thigh called? It's called the fascia lata or the deep fascia. Well, now what's not the fascia of the leg? The fascia of the leg is called the crural fascia. And it's also going to divide the leg into three compartments. The anterior, the posterior. Now we don't have media. What we're going to have is the what? Lateral. So take note that we said that the crural fascia, which is the fascia of the leg, the crural fascia is the what? Is the fascia of the leg. It divides the leg into, number one, we are going to call the what? The anterior compartment. The anterior compartment are also called your dorsiflexors. Dorsiflexors. And two, we are going to call the what? The lateral what? Compartment. The lateral compartment are called your plantar flexors. And number three, we are able to call your what? Your posterior compartment. Posterior compartment are also your plantar flexors. But I'm going to tell you the word, the difference. Plantar flexor. So we have the anterior compartment, the lateral compartment, and the what? Posterior compartment. Do you understand that? Now, if you say you understand that, look at it. Hold on a bit. The complete series of classes in anatomy, all of them, physiology, all the physiology, biochemistry, all, they are available in the LearnLift app. So just head down to Play Store or App Store and type LearnLift, right? And then download the app and you have access to all your classes and the continuation of this lesson you are watching right now. For the now, peace out. This is a transition of the leg. So first of all, we have the skin, we have the subcutaneous tissue, we have the deep fascia. The deep fascia, which is the crural fascia, right? It now divides the leg into three regions. Number one, we have the anterior region, what we call the dorsiflexors, right? We said we also have the posterior compartment called the plantar flexors, therefore plantar flexion, right? And we have the lateral compartment. Take note that for thigh, we have medial compartment, but for leg, we have lateral compartment. No medial compartment for leg. We only have your lateral compartment. Now let's deal with these muscles one after the other. The anterior compartment muscles. What are the anterior compartment muscles? Now please follow my acronym. I call them the feet. The F there is called your fibularis tersus. E there is called your extensor hallucis longus. The other E there is called your extensor hallucis digitorum. The T there is called your tibialis anterior. Feet. We're going to talk about that. Look at it. Take note that most of the anterior compartment are primary for what? For dorsiflexion of the ankle. They help to dorsiflex the ankle and they help to what? To their extensors of toe. Number one, they are dorsiflexors of the ankle and extensors of toe. Extend means to increase the angle. They have to raise the toe. Now, this is dorsiflexion and this is plantar flexion. Now, we said that the foot is divided into two. The dorsum of the foot, which is the surface, and the sole of the foot, right? So when you are coming up, you are dorsiflexing. When you are coming down, you are plantar flexing. You can see it from the diagram. Dorsiflexion up and plantar flexion. The dorsum, when you are moving the dorsum upward, you are dorsiflexing. When you are moving the plantar downward, you are dorsiflexing. You are plantar flexing. Move the dorsum upward, dorsiflexing. Move the plantar downward, you are plantar flexing. So they are called dorsiflexors as well as the extensors of the toe. Now look at it. You can see in this diagram the toe is being extended. In this diagram you can see the toe is being extended. So look at it, you can see why are they extended? I told you the muscles of the anterior compartment are called the feet. So we said that the muscles of the anterior compartment is called the feet. This is fibularis tersus, extensor hallucis. Extensor means to extend. Hallus, talk about the big toe. I told you the big toe. It's called the hallus. Extensor hallucis longus. It runs from the anterior leg. You can see the tendon running to the big toe. So it helps to raise the big toe upward. We also have this other is called the extensor digitorum. That means the raised digits, the extensor digitorum longus. So it helps to raise these digits. You can see you can raise the toes of your feet upward like this. So we said they are called the extensors of the toe. Do you understand that? Now let's list the muscles of the anterior compartment. I said I call them the feet. Follow my acronym. F there is what we call the fibularis tertius. What I call it? Fibularis tertius. The other E there is called the extensor hallucis longus. The word extensor means to extend. The word hallus talk about the big toe. The big toe is called the hallus, while the other toes are called digit, while the smallest toe is called the what? The quintil. Just the way you have thumb for hand. The big hand is called the thumb. For leg, the big toe is called the hallux, while the small toe is called the minimi or the quintil. So that's how we have the word extensor hallucis longus. From the name, you should know the function. It helps to extend the great toe. The great toe is called the word the hallux, which is called the extensor hallucis longus. The other two is called the extensor digitorum longus. Look at it. The extensor digitorum. The word digitorum talk about digits. The other 4 digits. So we have the extensor digitorum longus until we have the tibialis anterior. What I call it, tibialis anterior. These are the anterior compartments of everybody. What's the acronym? FIT. Fibularis tersus, extensor hallucis longus, extensor digitorum longus, and your tibialis anterior. Do you understand? What's the blood supply? Anterior tibial artery. I'm going to explain where the anterior tibial artery is coming from. Anterior tibial artery. I'm going to explain. The popliteal artery is going to divide into the posterior tibial artery and the anterior tibial artery. The anterior tibial artery will blood supply the anterior muscles, while the posterior tibial artery will go to the what? To the posterior tibia, to the posterior muscles, which are your calf muscles. Do you understand? What are now the nerve? The nerve is the deep peroneal nerve. Sciatic nerve is going to divide into 2. Your deep peroneal. Are you seeing that? We're going to talk about that deep peroneal, superficial peroneal. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about your tibial nerve. So for now, just know, I think I'm going to explain blood supply, but just know that the blood supply anterior tibial nerve, blood supply anterior tibial artery, nerve supply the deep peroneal nerve. Now look at it. From the diagram, we said they are feet, right? Feet. So you can see the tibialis anterior. You can see the extensor. Look at it. Extensor hallucis, big toe, is running from the leg to the big toe. Are you seeing that? Look at it. That's why it's called the what? Look at the extensor hallucis longus. Look at it. It's running to the what? To the big toe. While this one is called the extensor digitorum. Look at this, running and spreading to all the digits. That's why it's called the extensor digitorum longus. Extensor hallucis longus. Are you seeing that? Please take note about that. Now let's now go to the lateral compartment. What are the most of the lateral compartment? There are just 2. Fibularis longus and fibularis brevis. Fibularis longus and fibularis brevis. Now let's see. Take note that the most of the lateral compartment help to plantar flex. I explained that the anterior compartment dorsiflex, lateral compartment plantar flex, posterior compartment plantar flex. So most of the lateral compartments set to plantar flex as well as invert. What is the meaning? We have what to call inversion and eversion. Now we want to talk about inversion, moving the leg towards the midline. We want to talk about eversion, moving the leg away from the midline and moving it lateral. So most of the lateral compartments help to plantar flex and invert. They include number 1, we said the fibularis longus and the fibularis brevis. What are the 2 muscles? Fibularis longus, fibularis brevis. Fibularis longus, fibularis, they are called the FFF. Fibularis longus, fibularis brevis. Now, if you understand, look at it. This is inversion. Inversion means you are moving the foot towards the midline. Everybody know this is inversion, moving the feet towards the midline. Inversion, you are moving it away from the midline. That's you are moving it towards lateral. Constant pass question. Inversion, movement of the feet towards the midline. Who does inversion? Who does what? Eversion. We said that eversion is done by the what? The lateral compartment. This one is done by the lateral compartment, where they have to move the foot laterally. That means away from the wall, from the midline. Do you understand that? If you say you understand that, let's take 1 or 2 past questions. The past question says that right T for true, F for incorrect. The question says that inversion is a movement that turns the sole of the feet outward lateral. Inversion, is that correct? Inversion, is it inward or outward? It is what? Inward. But this one say outward or what? Lateral. This is what? Force. Of course. Let's take another question. The past question says that T for force, T for force, F for correct. Inversion turns the foot inward. Is inversion inward? Inversion is what? Outward. This is also what? Force. I hope you are following the class. Now, if you say now still on the lateral muscle, say we have the word fibularis longus, fibularis brevis. And what are now the blood supply? The blood supply is the anterior tibial artery as well as the fibularis artery. The anterior tibial artery as well as the word fibularis artery. But what are now the nerve supply? The nerve supply is what's the nerve supply of the anterior deep peroneal nerve, but this ones are superficial peroneal nerve. Superficial peroneal nerve. Now let's look at the diagram. You can see the diagram. This is the fibularis longus. Why is it called the fibularis longus? You can see that it's running from the lateral part of the leg to the first metatarsal. That's why it is long. Look at this, attaching to the first metatarsal. This is the metatarsal. These are the phalanges, right? Phalanges. These ones are the what? Metatarsal. You can see them. These are the metatarsal. So it's essentially the first metatarsal. But the fibularis brevis, the tendon is running from the lateral compartment of the leg to the 5th metatarsal. This is the 5th metatarsal. You can see it. So it's just running. You can see it here. So that's why it is called your brevis, and this one is called the longus. Are you seeing that the tendon attached to the first metatarsal, and also the tendon also attached to the fifth metatarsal? If you say you understand that, let's now talk about the posterior compartment. Everybody, what the posterior compartment muscle called? They are called the calf muscle. Posterior compartment of the leg is called the calf muscles. And what are the calf muscles? Take note that the muscles are divided into two compartments. The calf muscles are the posterior compartment. We have those that are superficial and those that are deep. So divided into the superficial group and the deep group. Now look at it. Now the superficial group, I call them the GPS. What I call the superficial group, the GPS. We have the gastrocnemius, the plantaris muscle, and the soleus muscle. They are called the GPS. While the deep group are opposite of your anterior. Anterior, we have the fibularis, right? So then now we have the extensor hallucis longus, extensor. Now we're going to have flexor. So let's see the muscles of this compartment. The superficial group. The superficial group are called the GPS. First, what are the GPS? We have the gastrocnemius muscle. We have what to call the plantaris muscle, and we have what to call the soleus muscle. Everybody, what I call them the GPS. They are called the triceps surae. Look at it. Together they form the triceps surae, which is inserted into the tendon Achilles of the calcaneus. They are called the triceps surae. We call them the calf muscles. There are three triceps surae from the word three triceps. GPS, the gastrocnemius, the plantaris, and the soleus. GPS, gastrocnemius, plantaris, and the soleus. They act to plantar flex the foot. So plantar flex the foot. Superficial plantar flex, right? Deep to plantar flex. Do you understand? So they have to plantar flex the foot. Look at it. Look at the diagram, everybody. Very quickly, when it comes to creating accounts, how do you create an account? Very easy. Let me give you the steps. First and foremost, you see create account and log in. You only log in right when you already have an account. Since you don't have an account, click on create account. When you get there, put in your phone number. After putting in your phone number, you click on continue, right? Your first name, of course, you put in your first name there. If your first name is James, you put in James as your first name. Your last name, if your last name is Victor, you put in what? Victor as your last name. Then you come to email address, right? Put in your email address there very quickly. james112@gmail.com. Then your password, right? Oh yes. Those of you that like, if you want to use your name, your password can just be like 6 digits, right? Oh yes. So let me say James 12 as the password, right? Fill everything accurately and correctly. James 12. Don't jump any stage. If not, your account is not going to open for you. Select education. Under select education, of course, university. You click university. Leave secondary, primary, leave the others. Click university or tertiary. Click it. Come to select level. Under select level, you go and select your level. If it's 100 level, 200 level, of course, all these are the university classes. Click on 200 level. And click on create account. Once you click on create account, what will happen? Your class will load straight, and then your profile will be set up, and then it will take you to class. Easy and direct. So you see it. This is how you create your account. And then from here, you can see that you have your anatomies here, your upper limb, your lower limb, separately embryology, histology, systemic anatomy. Those ones are for nursing. Your CVS, cardiovascular system, your blood physiology, excitable tissues, systemic physiology, intro to biochemistry, your biomolecules, BCM for nursing psychology. You have access to every single thing in the app. Now, let me see what is in the app. Let's say, for example, upper limb. You click on the upper limb, right? You can see that you have your classes there already waiting for you. Overview of the upper limb, pectoral region, arm region, forearm, hand, all of them part by part. When I click on the overview of the upper limb, of course, I'll just match it straight to my class. Parts of the upper limb 1, parts of the upper limb 2, bones of the upper limb, joints of the upper limb, muscles. You see, all your classes are there for you, right? Okay, let me say I want to start now, and then I want to watch joints of the upper limb. All you just need to do is click on that particular class that you want to watch, joints of the upper limb, and what will happen? Your class will load, and your classes will start playing for you immediately. Shall you see? You may choose to say, okay, I want to rotate it, right? Oh yes, rotate it, and you start following your classes immediately, easy and direct. You may choose to say, okay, you want to forward, you want to pause, you want to back forward, anyone you want to do, and you take it forward, and what happened, you can see all of them very, very easy. And the sweet part is that there are questions for you at the end of every class. Are you with me? So that's for that. And you may choose to go back and then go to the notes section of the app. Oh yes, when you get to the notes section of the app, of course, the notes are there, well organized and arranged for you. And you can zoom in and then start following back to back, and you are following. You may even choose to go and start answering questions. Questions are there for you, and their answers. You start following through every singular facet of it, and you are learning on your own. And there is CPT in the app as well for you. A lot of other aspects that you can follow up. All of this in the LearnLift app. Same way you have for anatomy, that's how you have for physiology, that's how you have for biochemistry. Are you getting it now? For the now, bye-bye. First, this is the gastrocnemius. This is the head of the gastrocnemius. Are you seeing that? This side is the medial head. This side is the lateral head. Both of them, gastrocnemius is a large muscle. If you remove the gastrocnemius muscle, you are going to see the soleus muscle. The soleus muscle is under the gastrocnemius, of course, but it is superficial. And you can see the plantaris muscle. Look at the plantaris muscle here. This is the plantaris muscle, which you can also see here, while this is the soleus muscle. All of them, we call them the GPS, muscles of the superficial posterior compartment. The gastrocnemius, which is true. Gastrocnemius is a large muscle. It's also called the anti-gravity muscle. We're going to talk about that. Now, what are the functions of the superficial muscles? We say they help to plantar flex the flute. Now, let's not talk about the deep muscles. The deep muscles, I call them the PFFT. They are the opposite of the anterior. What are the anterior? We have the anterior. We'll talk about the feet, tubularis, extensor hallucis, extensor deuterium, and tibialis anterior. But here now we have the first P there. The P there is what we call the popliteus muscle. The F there is what we call the flexor deuterium longus. Now, in anterior, it is extending, but in posterior, it is what flexing. We have what we call the flexor hallucis, that's for the big toe, flexor hallucis longus, and we have what we call the tibialis posterior. But in the anterior compartment, we have tibialis anterior. So you can see they are opposite of each other. We have the flexor deuterium longus, flexor hallucis longus, tibialis posterior, and we have your popliteus muscle. Take note that these deep muscles flex the toes and plantar flex the ankle. We said that the anterior compartment help to dorsiflex, right? And they also help to extend the toes. But these ones, they help to plantar flex, and they also help to flex the toe. They are opposite of the anterior compartment. Do you understand that? And you can see the diagram. This is the popliteus. We said it is your PFFT. Popliteus, your flexor deuterium longus, flexor hallucis longus, and your tibialis posterior. Do you understand that? These are the muscles of the posterior compartment. What is the summary of the leg? First, we said that the artery there is called the anterior tibial artery, and we said the nerve there is called the peroneal nerve. What about for the lateral compartment, anterior tibial artery, fibularis artery? What about for the nerve, superficial peroneal nerve? And we'll talk about the posterior tibial artery and the tibial nerve. We're going to discuss these nerves and blood supply when we get to the overview of blood supply. This is just the summary of the leg. Do you understand? Let's take one or two past questions. The past question say right here for true and for false. Plantar flexion is produced by the muscles of the anterior compartment. Does the anterior compartment plantar flex? The anterior compartment help to dorsiflex, while posterior compartment and lateral compartment help to plantar flex. This is what false. Let's see the next question. Past. The past question says that, let's see, dorsiflexion is produced by the muscles of the posterior compartment. Posterior compartment help to plantar flex. They also help to flex the foot. They flex the toes. They help to plantar flex the ankle and to flex the toes. They are saying dorsiflex. No, this is false. Quickly, if you say you understand, let's see another past question. The past question says plantar flexion is produced by gastrocnemius and tibialis anterior. Now, who help to plantar flex? Posterior and lateral. Gastrocnemius is posterior, right? What about anterior? Anterior tibial artery. No, anterior artery is anterior compartment. Anterior compartment help to dorsiflex. So this is also false. False. Do you understand that? If you say you understand that, next class we're going to talk about muscles of the foot region. I hope you understand it. You can pause that, take it over and over again. If anything is confusing, we're going to still meet them in front. Are you seeing them? We're just doing the overview. But for now, peace out. Hope you've enjoyed this class. Guess what? To follow up for more classes, just download the LearnLift app, whether on Play Store or App Store,
and then follow up your classes. You must do extremely well. I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.